Hello, it's the Inquiring Cat here, and I've been looking into social care. Now, this is a subject that's been kicked around the ballpark for, well, years, and I think that Wes Streeting is probably the only person so far that really impresses me in the Labour cabinet. He's got a great backstory, and he speaks articulately about a range of subjects, and he's very open-minded. And of course, if a Tory had said, we need to use the private sector to give us lots of extra capacity to clear a backlog, it would have been an unimaginable sin. And he would have been attacked by the Labour Party no end. But Wes Streeting has said it, and of course it makes sense. It's just logical, good business sense to clear the backlog if there's capacity there. So he's impressed me so far, and yet today I'm feeling a little bit confused because the social care subject has been kicked around for ages. And in 2010, Cameron launched the Dilnot report, which came up with, allegedly, I haven't read it in detail, but some very workable solutions. But it constantly has got kicked down the can, and various leaders have subsequently wanted to take another look at it in a slightly different way. And so surely there is enough evidence in front of us that we need to do something, and fast, even if it's not perfect, and some of it has to be changed later. But what we hear now from Wes is that it's all going to be kicked down the can for another report, another commission to report in 2028, 4 years away. His aim to draw in proper cross-party support is utterly laudable, because this has been such an intransigent problem for so many years. I think means tested for old age social care goes back to 1948 or something. So I think that in that sense it's the right thing, but do we really need 4 years to discuss it? And can't we get some cross-party support, since all the parties, it's in their interest to deal with this issue and get it off the table? To a simple layman like me, what I think is that quite clearly we need to do something fast, because we need to be clearing the beds in the NHS to get them available for people coming into hospital. The care of the elderly is a social and moral responsibility that we should not be shirking, and we should not be treating in such a dismissive way. And I think there's a lot of votes to be had for whatever party manages to solve the problem. That, of course, might stand in Wes's way in terms of his seeking a cross-party support, because maybe people don't want to see him victorious. He would certainly like to be victorious, because he's already being talked about as a future Labour leader, although Angela Rayner has gone public and said that she is his competitor. Maybe she was joking, maybe she wasn't. So it's a hot potato, and I hope we get it sorted quickly. But part of that is that it cannot be done in isolation, and it has to be involving the NHS as well. And when I hear from friends who work in NHS A and E about the tidal wave of people who come in not with an accident, not with an emergency, but blocking up the hospital, you realise what a disaster it is at a hospital level, where there isn't enough bed capacity. And this winter in particular, we seem to be having a terrible resurgence of flu and COVID, all of which is genuine in terms of people needing to be attended to. And if the GPs are not giving the capacity, then the hospitals tend to pick that up. But it is not helpful when somebody came into A&E recently with a broken nail. And, you know, really, I ask you. And apparently they didn't even wait around when they discovered how long the waiting time was. So it's just really sad that we haven't been able to solve this. I hope that we can this time around once and for all, because this, I think, should be dealt with so it is off the public conscience. Because I think we do all have a conscience about it. We want to see our elderly cared for, And the older I get, the more concerned I am that this should be dealt with. So there we go, little rant about that. And don't forget, if you like my thoughts on current affairs, to subscribe and give us a like, and we can grow the channel a bit. And I will be digging up lots of other issues around global affairs and our relationship with America and what's happening in Spain and elsewhere in Europe, all in due course. Lots more to follow. And by the way, I'm going to be talking a little bit about careers and around interviews and around CVs in another podcast, selectively, specifically for that subject. So keep tuned in if those are subjects that might interest you in the future. Lovely to see you. See you again soon. Bye-bye.